Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. We're about to start this webinar. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. Let's just give another minute. There are still people on the way, and we'll start in 1 minute. Okay. Alex?
Yes.
To start?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Great.
Let's
Okay.
get into it.
Yeah. Perfect. So, thanks for joining. This is a Prokuria webinar. The theme for today is around the RFQ process and how you can automate that, and why doing like complex RFQs or fast RFQs, it's a nightmare in doing in Excel, and we know this from a lot of discussions with our customers. So we'll try to present some real story scenario on how you can do that in Prokuria. But first, just a short introduction on ourselves. I'm Daniel. I'm the CEO of Prokuria. Together with me is Alex. He's part of the sales tech team, and actually help a lot of companies automate their flow. So he knows ins and out about the Prokuria and how to set it up and different scenarios that he has been through with the customers. So that being said, maybe 1 minute about Prokuria. So for whoever is new to our webinars and want to know a bit about what we are doing and the context and why we are doing how are we helping the procurement people. Just 2 slides, only 2 minutes, and then we'll get right into the scenario that we prepare for today. And this is just to present a bit what are our core pillars. So we have 3 core pillars. One is around sourcing events. It's exactly what we are going to show today. The second one is around supplier management, and this is whatever is linked to the onboarding, supplier portal, scorecard, performance review, maybe a future webinar. And the third one is related to purchasing processes in procurement, which is more like purchase requests, purchase orders, good receipt notes, things like that. But today we are focusing on the sourcing events, and just a quick note on how we are positioning in the market. So if you see how you can do the sourcing events in this moment, you have like 3 main ways of doing it. First one is traditional emails and Excel, and this is where we want to help people get out of this, because it's very time consuming and a lot of risk that you have, a lot of manual work, so you don't want to spend a lot of time in redundant tasks. Second one is where we want to be, like the evolution from Excel. Of course, there is also the third layer, which is much more complex, more appropriate for multinationals that can implement different processes across 20 countries, things like that. So then we are not the right product for this kind of companies. It's way too complex. Maybe they will go for implementing the procurement module in SAP, Oracle, Yager, the big ERPs of the world. But if you are a company that you are growing and you don't want to use the Excel and you want to move faster in the sourcing process, then we want to be the go-to solution for that. So I think that's it in terms of presentation. I didn't want to take too much time. There is also a Q&A section in the webinar, so if you have any questions, please raise it. We'll try to take it if it may be on the way or at the end, so don't be shy. But that being said, Alex,
Yep.
Should you go to the right
Right to the point.
Right to the point, yeah, to the
Yeah.
main part of the webinar. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the scenario we want to treat today is we have within our imaginary company,
Yeah.
we've received a request to purchase furniture for opening a new location.
Okay.
And my colleague Diana has
Yeah.
actually sent me this email.
Okay.
And they're saying that we need to open this new location. And she sent me 5 files. Each I haven't opened them yet. I haven't looked at them, but the idea, from what I can understand in the email, is we need to purchase those desks and chairs of various models and sizes, and we need services as well. So
Right.
it's multiple items, and it's not the typical. You have one item and such, but we can quickly take a look at one of the Excels and just to understand what's going to be required of us. It's something like this. So we have the different types of chairs and such, and then I would assume is the same for desks. Right. And the point is, being that the files are separated, I would have to take all the items, structure them in one file, and then look at the questions, see if I can organize them in a way that makes sense for the suppliers to go through them, and then I have to create this file that will make sense for the suppliers to look and then understand. Okay, so I need to put the price here. How do I put the prices? Is it just is it in euro? Is it in something else? So this whole process of creating the file and then sending and then receiving the answers, each supplier will have each individual file. Then I'll have to group all the files from all the suppliers together. Right. And it can get very tedious, and especially if you're using.
So already by talking about it, it seems a lot of work that you need to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
just to do the office furniture and to prepare.
So and especially it's just 2 types of items, but it can be that you have one type of item that can get very complex if you go into details.
Yeah, but your customers usually they will have like 5 items, or
well, it highly depends. It can be that are 5 items that they order weekly, or it can be that they order quarterly, like 200 items.
All right. Okay, 200 items.
200 items.
It will be
if you
nightmare.
Yeah, if you have 5 suppliers, 200 items per 5 suppliers, that's 1,000 items you have
to
put in one file and then analyze. So it can get very, very crowded in one Excel file. Yeah. So that's the point of
this. And then we have also questions, right? So that's like question means suppliers need to answer some questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So for example, if in here we have services, and we want to ask them not only if they provide the services, but we want to know what kind of quality maybe is that product, or do you provide warranty? What type of warranty? How long is it? Do you deliver? What's the payment structure of the delivery?
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of certifications maybe they need to have. Okay, so a lot of preparation just to send this email
to ask,
in case you don't have a platform.
To ask the questions and to ask some prices on some items. And basically, I would never try to do this in Excel. I would much rather get into our software here that I have. And what we are going to do today is basically look at how the process of doing that specific email, once we received it, put it in Prokuria, and do the whole process from requesting the answers and then analyzing the information at the end. Because the value of the information isn't just to receive the answers themselves, is to know what to do with them after. And because we have the data, we can analyze it, and then we can do different things that we'll get into towards the end of the webinar.
Absolutely. Okay. So let's see how this will look in Prokuria, right? Yeah. We'll try to build it from scratch.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. So right now I'm in the supplier screen, and I can see here I have, I'm just looking to see, okay, do I have any suppliers that I can use? And I do. I see here in the category, I can see I have 3 furniture suppliers, which is good. I can then go ahead and go to the events and actually create a new event with those suppliers.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead, create a new event. I'm gonna name it furniture purchase. If I can type furniture purchase. And then in the intro section, we can type something like, dear suppliers, welcome to our, new opening of purchasing of furniture.
Yeah.
This information will be also visible to them, so it's
more like an intro, right?
Yeah,
like whatever you write, please. You are invited to offer a code and respect the deadline and things like that.
Things like
that,
exactly.
Right. So it's
and in here we can actually also, because I have in the email,
yeah,
I also have the office plan. So for example, it might be useful for the suppliers to know, look, this is the layout, this is what we're going to work for. Right. And you can quickly, drop a file in here wherever you have it saved, and it will be displayed onto the event so that all the suppliers have access to it.
Great.
Yeah, so that's the general info section, and then we get into the settings. And in here, I can decide how I want the event to end. I'll give it, let's say, 2 hours, just so that the suppliers have time to quote and everything.
Right.
And then I can, if I go back to the email and I look, I have some project information here.
Right.
And Diana has been kind enough to let me know that this is, named project 1, and because Prokuria helps centralize all the data, right. I can already see it here. I have project 1, and then once I select it, I have all the information brought in, and I don't need to specifically know if somebody else handles a different part of the information, and that lets me know just one bit. Then I can get all that information directly.
So it's very helpful in case you want to link different information. In this case, the project to a specific RFQ. You just define the project one time, and then you can have 10 RFQs, right? Because maybe after furniture, you need to do a party for the
cubicles.
Yeah. So then you just link to the project. At the end, maybe you can do a report with all the RFQs and all the budget and all the spend on this project. And Prokuria will help you have this data very well structured in the application.
Yeah,
cool. Makes sense.
All right. So next step is to add our items. So if we go into the event, we can see we have the add section. And in the add section, we have 2 types.
Right.
We have the price sheets and we have the questionnaire. So both are tailored to do separate things. Price sheets will help us build the items.
Right.
And because we have in our email, we have chairs, desks, and 2 sets of questions, I can take a guess and say, okay, I'll need 4 sections. A section for chairs, desks, and 2 question sections.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 price sheets and then 2 questionnaires. So I can translate that information directly into Prokuria very easily.
Right.
Then I want to rename my sections. So I want to rename this one as chairs, and then the second one as desks. And you can do a lot of nice things with this, because after you do all your setup, it takes a minute, but you have the information organized at the end, which is one of the aims of all our. It's one of the goals that we have to keep everything organized and ease of access to the information. So we now have the sections named. Then we can get into, so I have, the item name, category, all those fields. I can rearrange them if I want, for example, or I have here templates that I can choose from. So, for example, I have already created by somebody a furniture item template, and I don't have to recreate it every time. So in Excel, you would go and put the name of the columns every time you do a new Excel, or maybe you have one that's a template that maybe is modified some ages ago, and you don't know what's the up-to-date one. So you can very easily access that information and have it up to date. And it's 2 clicks for me, and right now I should be set up to actually create all the items. I can do that in 3 ways actually. So I can do it manually. So I can type, simple chair here, and have, a description of the simple chair description. And I'll have to put a unit of measure, let's say piece, and then a quantity of 100.
Yeah.
So I can do that manually for each item. So I have the Excel on one screen or something.
Yeah, not good.
Not very not good. Takes a long time. Especially for 5 items, it would be okay. But for 100 items, no.
No. Okay.
So the second option would be to add them from a file.
Right.
So I can choose a file, and let's say I want to do the chairs. And the platform will automatically get all the header, the column names.
Yeah.
And then I can map them. So for example, I don't have category and subcategory in my file. I don't need them. So I don't select them, and I add items, and everything is imported very easily. So and I have all the items that were in the Excel file. And then I can do the same for the desks. Right. And the third option would be to add from a predefined catalog.
Yes.
And if we go into the catalog, we can see I don't have furniture specifically. Yeah. So, but you could create this predefined catalog and have it, especially for items that you order a lot
weekly.
The time.
The weekly example. This will be out from catalog, so you don't need.
You always have
one time, and then you just do the flip the RFQ. This is all that I from a customer. Yeah, they want to quickly flip RFPs.
Yeah, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to upload from the file with the desks here, and then we have all the information already in there.
Right.
And then for the question section, it's the same thing. You can add from manually, or you can add it from a file.
Right.
Adding manually, you can say like, do you provide delivery services?
Yes.
And you can assign it to a category, let's say logistics. And then you can write some notes, internal notes for your, if it's a complicated question, you can provide some explanation in here. And then you get to the type. So in the type, we have multiple types of fields. So you have short text, long text, single choice, drop down single choice, file upload in order for the suppliers to upload documents, number, etc., date. Any type of field that you want the suppliers to respond into, you can already build it in here. So there's no confusion in terms of what the supplier needs to do. In Excel, you can do some formatting for the cell that the supplier does, but it's always the confusion. Do I need to provide a number? What is this?
Yeah.
So
here you can actually get the right answer.
Exactly.
And it can be like an open question, like a long test, upload the file, things like that, or it can be like a closed question. Like
exactly.
Choose one of the below. Don't go around because I want to quickly compare the responses.
Exactly.
Guys. Okay, but not manual, right? No, it's
not manual.
Not manual. Okay.
We'll make this question mandatory, so we have, we really want to know whether the suppliers do provide delivery services, and then we'll move on to the other questions. And let's say again, we can upload from a file. And just simply, put all the other questions in here. You can see they come predefined with short text, single choice, file upload. So we have a multitude of questions that we can showcase.
Yeah.
And then we can get into the second question section and put it the same way, upload it and add the items. And it's very quick, very easy, no manual process if you have them predefined as well. Takes 2 minutes.
Yeah. And I assume also we can say that we have templates in Prokuria. So once you do this event and then you have a new
if you want to
office opening in our scenarios with our company that is opening left and right new offices, then you just can duplicate this event and the next one will be even faster to create.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna take another look, and we're gonna.
What about, because in email I saw something about the services.
Oh, right, you're correct. So we need another section now, where we say, okay, we want services. So 5th section, and then let's see if we have a template for that one. See services template used for requesting quotes for services. Great. So we have a predefined one. And we want, what was it? Because we have folding and moving services.
Right.
We're going to add them manually here. And then we have the description, take it, copy, paste. Very quick. And then do the same for the other two. So repairs. And let's do the disposal and waste services. Okay, so we actually care about the environment in here.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and then now that I've added them in the wrong order, I would like to actually have that, you know, after the prices. So I have the price,
right,
the services, and then the question. So I can
more like first 3 sections is the commercial part where you ask for prices, different services, goods, doesn't matter. So first part is more about commercial. Second part is more about logistics, warranties, product quality, things like that. So
exactly,
you get all this information in only one central place, which is Prokuria and this RFQ that we are creating. And also something that I'm seeing is some columns are with yellow, which means these are the columns for the supplier to fill in.
Yeah.
But the two templates are not the same, right?
No.
It's like in Excel. In Excel, you can have one sheet, different, one table, second sheet, other table. Here is the same concept, right?
Yeah, and basically this whole furniture purchase thing would be an Excel file with multiple sheets.
Exactly.
Services would be their own sheet. Questions one would be their own sheet, and so on.
Yes.
So that's you can have all the information one place. Don't have to, you know, switch sheets or.
Yeah, and this is important because it's a very large in terms of appearance and the way to use it. It's a lot of the Prokuria resembles a lot to the Excel. So it's easy for somebody that currently is working in Excel to move Prokuria. Should be like the same kind of format. We see tables, we can see columns. Concept is the same, that you have multiple sheets. Here are sections, but pretty much the same thing. So it's a nice and smooth transition from somebody very used to Excel to go.
They don't need to relearn any process. They can translate their knowledge of Excel into here, and especially the reflexes that they get created.
Yeah, cool, perfect.
Yeah.
So mindful of the time, I think we should launch this and see what's happening.
We need to invite the suppliers, and
right.
I can do that very easily because I've already looked, and I have 4 suppliers actually.
Okay.
Let's invite Dan here, Diana, and myself to the event so that we can all provide quotations.
But these suppliers basically are inputted once when they set up the account, or when our customers are finding new suppliers, they are putting here in the database. Are their suppliers, or the data is belonging to the customers? We don't offer any marketplace of suppliers, but each company already has the database of suppliers that are working with. So they will need to put it here, just a company name and the list one contact. Yeah. So we can
name and email address, and that's it.
Okay. And once you have it here, you just invite them. You find it here all the time, and you just invite it easily to the.
So you can easily filter. So
exactly, and you can filter, segment, and choose the ones you want in there.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
All right. So without further ado, we're gonna take another look, make sure that we have everything that we need here, and then we can just publish the event.
Right.
It's going to tell me that I have no mark columns as mandatory for desk and services. So the platform knows and tells me, hey, look, you might want to check this. I already know, and I'm going to publish it no matter what. So once that's done, all the suppliers will receive the invitation. So in the suppliers screen, you can add the buyer. You can always keep track of what's going on with your suppliers. If they read the invitation, if they accessed it, if they've accepted it, and so on and so forth. And actually, if you don't mind, if you can access that invitation so that we can see that going on the screen.
Right, because I'm also one of the suppliers, right? You invited me as a supplier. Okay, cool. So really quickly doing this right now.
And then I'll show them from my side.
From your side,
the supplier will look like.
Okay, so I'm in already as a supplier, seeing the page and clicking to participate. Okay, so I'm ready to code as a supplier. I'm ready to code.
Yeah, and the viewers, I hope you've seen the green bubble is now lit, and the status has changed in response and draft. So you have a live preview of what the supplier is doing, so you're always on top of everything. And if your suppliers don't respond, you can take action and say, hey, look, the RFQ is ending in 1 hour. Can you please provide a quote or something?
Quote or response,
Or what's going on? Maybe they have a problem. Then they didn't.
How would you do if you don't have a platform? You start calling them, right?
Yeah, you start calling,
hey,
spamming emails. Yeah. So
okay.
Now I'm gonna go onto the my email address as the supplier. So now I'm switching hats. I'm going to be the supplier. I can see here furniture purchase deadline and the intersection that we wrote, the little intersection, and then I'm gonna open the view into incognito so I can show you the login procedure.
Right. Actually, this is one of the questions somebody is asking on the group. If the supplier is receiving the invitation via email, yes, via email. Yeah. This is the email that the suppliers are receiving. So thank you for the question.
Yeah. And then I'm going to put the email address that I have in partnership with the client, and I don't need a password. I don't need to have an account specifically. I need
as a supplier.
As a supplier.
You don't. Okay.
Yeah. I put the email address, and then as the banking apps do, we send a one-time password. I receive it on the email. This is what it looks like, and then I take it and I put it into the box here, and then I submit the code.
So minimal effort from the suppliers. Exactly. They don't need to do a username, password, nothing. No registration. Receive email. Yeah. Click, receive code, put the code, and they have access to the. Yeah.
They have to accept the terms and conditions.
Of course. Yeah.
And then that's it. They can either choose to participate or decline. We're going to go ahead and click participate because it's the use case. And then in here, this is what the supplier sees. So it's minimalistic in the terms of what counts for the supplier is shown. They can see the intersection, they can see the attachments in here and download them so that they have, they can view it. And then if they scroll down, they can see all the sections that we defined for them.
Right.
And then go through each of them. And I'm going to, quote for all of them, just so that we can use that information and look at it in the compare responses. Gonna just briefly, quote around 100 for all of them. The scenario would be that each supplier would, maybe look into their catalog.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they will not quote as fast as you.
Yeah, most probably, but so that we don't, I think the viewers get the idea of what's going on in here.
Yes.
And then the services, let's say for hauling, I don't know, around 10,000 for the services, and we're gonna save changes in here. And then we'll get into the questions. So here, do you provide delivery services? Yes, we do, because we let it as an open-ended question. Then what is the delivery cost per kilometer? And in here I can type, I charge per whole trip, not per kilometer, or let's say 10 euro per kilometer or whatever. And then I can get into closed-end question. Do you provide shipping warranty? Yes, starting from a certain value. Yes, for an additional cost, or no, for example. So I can only pick out of these, and maybe we would have been useful to do another option, but still.
Yeah.
Please upload a copy of your shipping warranty, and I can, just get into and upload the document here. I'm going to choose this one because I don't have an actual shipping warranty.
Yeah.
Then we can get into, we finished the logistics category, so I can close that one. I don't want to look at it anymore. And then I can move forward. So yes, I confirm that all the products meet the specific dimensions, and so on. So I think everybody gets the idea.
Yeah,
also,
absolutely.
It's not only that we have questions that you can specifically ask for documents, we can have questions that you tick, you have the option to, you know, drop down or open-ended, then you can have the possibility to attach the document for questions, for example, where you have compliance questions such as this one. You might want to attach documents that test your response specifically. And I'm going to move on and respond to all the questions just so we have, you know, the responses in there. And
I'm doing the same, by the way, for as a supplier, just to you can see both responses.
Yeah. And then once we're done with the questions, and let's attach one more document in here, we should be done with the event itself. And we are ready to submit the response. So for the supplier, again, very easy, very quick to provide all the information that the buyer is requesting. They have a easy interface to work with.
Yeah.
And it's pretty straightforward, I would say, in terms of,
absolutely,
you know,
I already finished mine. So
oh wow,
very good.
You're faster than me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and submit our response, and then I'm gonna switch back to the buyer view and see what they see. So all the suppliers have submitted their response. If I want to look at one specific answers, for example, if I want to see the one that I've submitted, I can do that once they did submit. So
right.
Take a look as the buyer at what my suppliers are doing, and you know.
Yeah. And actually, there is a question from Bogdan on this one. We are actually keeping all the data for all the responses, but depending how each company has the flow, a certain response can be marked as a winning or proposed for winning response. So that one, no, is going farther on the flow.
Yeah.
But in terms of data, all the data, you have it here. So in the future, maybe you want to check a certain supplier, how many times they quoted, if they have good quote, things like that. Even if they didn't win the contract, you can actually find the data there.
You can create prices.
You can create a historic report of prices. Yeah. Of course, if the company wants this, if the company wants to have maybe very sensitive data, and after one RFQ they want to delete all the data, we can do that as well. But to be honest, company usually,
most companies don't.
They want to have data of all the prices. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So now we are seeing all the prices that the suppliers are.
We're gonna look at that now. So once we receive the responses from all the suppliers, we can go into compare responses.
Right.
And in here, we have multiple ways to view the information. So in terms of the items, we can see them in a side-by-side report where each supplier has their own columns. And then we can mark, let's say supplier 3 has quoted me well on those, and then I want to go with supplier 2 for the other 3 items, and then supplier 1 with the last one. I can do that if I want to provide to pick all the answers from one specific supplier. I can do that as well. So and the same goes for all the items. So you can see, because we structured all the items in different sections, we have them here structured in different sections, so we can be organized. Right. Then we can also see it in a flat file report. And in here is basically exactly how it would look in Excel, where you have all the items from the suppliers. You can see them here, blue, red, and green, and I can see the ones that I've marked. So if you prefer this type of data visualization, that's also there.
To say here that a lot of customers are asking to download the data like this, just to have it and maybe do something else with that in maybe other systems. So there is the option to download it from Prokuria. Here you download basically all the prices that you get from different suppliers in one big file in Excel. You can do a pivot table, put it in your ERP, Power BI tool, whatever. Also, if you want to download one by one, also that's available from the previous screen. We are not going there now, but you can download each one by one, or all together.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the other part is the questionnaire, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the questions similar. One column is one supplier, and then we on the left we have the questions, and we can see all their responses in here to each question. So we can quickly compare, look at them, say, okay, this one hasn't provided its no all the way, or yes all the way, or it's very easy. And the same thing goes, we can export all the data,
right,
do further analysis on it outside Prokuria, or we can keep it and then do our analysis within Prokuria.
Right, so we can do analysis also in Prokuria.
Exactly.
So I think this is something that we can show as the next phase. Let's imagine that is not 15 items, not 5 chairs, right? Let's say we have 100 items.
Yeah.
How we are helping procurement teams to analyze, let's say, one event, 3 suppliers, but 100 items. Also, Bogdan is asking if he can mix items from different suppliers and generate like a consolidated file only with the winner. So I think that the next part will answer this question.
So for that, we have a tool, a module that we call bids analysis.
Right.
And in here, we actually have one that's in progress, and it's very big. It has 100 items that have been analyzed. It's also for furniture, so coincidence. And then we have 3 suppliers that have quoted, and we have a total of 275 bids. So not all the suppliers reply to all the
offer codes for all the items.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So this is like a totally next phase. So first phase was about launching the event.
Yeah.
Second one was about collecting the answers from the suppliers. So we automated 2 days of work.
Yeah, exactly.
2 days 2 days of work and a lot of follow-ups. And then you can have the data, do it in Excel, do whatever you want. If you want to stop there with Prokuria. But if you want, in case you have a lot of items and you want Prokuria to continue the flow, you can go into this phase of analyzing the bids and using the system to indicate different stuff.
Exactly.
Right. And this is what we are showing now.
Yeah. So you can see here we have the breakdown of what's has been going on in this event. We can see each supplier has quoted, supplier red 91, blue 90, and green 93. So that's what has been quoted out of the 100 items.
Right.
And then the platform tells us that there have been 42 best bids for supplier red and 30 worst bids, and the same goes for blue and green. And then further down, we can see total price. So what's the total value of everything that has been quoted?
Right.
What's our budget for the items that have been quoted for?
Right.
And then the savings and opportunity cost of those.
I think the value of the system is that automatically can mark I think this is what button does, right? The run analysis. We don't need to run it now.
It's going to take a while.
Exactly. But I think it was already run on this data. So it's tagging below in the table below. I think we can see that here are the 275 bids.
Yeah.
Different suppliers, different items. Maybe we can select for one category just to be easier to see.
Let's see 3.
Okay, so basically it's faster to see now. And then we can see the marking. So all this was done by the system automatically, right? So the system ran all the data. He identified which bid is the best, which one is the worst for a specific item. Also, if it's above or below the average, in case you have multiple suppliers, there's valuable information. The savings, which I think is the bid of that particular supplier versus the budget that you inputted in the system. So you can calculate if you were to go with that particular supplier for that particular item, what would be the saving for that item. And opportunity cost, which is in case is the base bid. There's no opportunity cost. That's the base bid. So it's 0. So if we look at the second row, that's 0. That's why it's 0, because it's the best bid. So no opportunity cost if we go with supplier 3 for the item 100. But if we go with supplier 2 for this item, there is an opportunity cost of 9,920.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the each column in the system there.
Yeah.
Okay. And on the summary, basically is all together at the supplier level, showing what's happening.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, understood. So this is something again that probably if you were to have these bits, put it all in one Excel and start, okay, maybe very good with Excel and you can do some formulas, but still there is a lot of risk on the operational side, right? You never know when you copy paste the wrong data, misspell some number, and then you don't know what's happening. And this information is automatically coming from the RFQ.
Exactly.
No work needs to be done. Just click
a button,
the run analysis, and then basically you have all the data tag.
And coming back to what I said at the beginning, because when you do it in Excel, you have to do all these extra work, and you have to keep the data somewhere accessible and keep track of what you're doing.
Right.
In Prokuria, you run the event, you have the event there. It doesn't go away.
Right.
And then if after it ends, or 2 weeks from after it ended, you want to do the analysis, you click one button. The information is already there. You don't need to do anything anymore.
Yeah, and I have this information, and maybe next year, if I'm doing the same RFQ, next year I will have the same, but maybe I want to check versus last year how the bids improved or went in another direction. So instead of trying to find the Excel, I'm just looking at the platform that can analyze also across time the difference in the prices. And I see the PO button. I think that's maybe for a next webinar. From there, you can actually start doing purchase orders, right?
Exactly.
That's the.
So if once you've done the RFQ, you've run your analysis, and you look here and you say, okay, I look that Supplier 2 is probably my best bet in terms of who to go with. If I want to go against the system recommendation, I can totally do so. But I have the option to go directly from here into a PO. So it keeps the trend of ease of access to information and ease of creating new things. So from RFQ, we created the analysis, one button. From the analysis, we can create a PO, one button.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it in terms of story. We have a couple of questions. There's another one from Linao that we need to ask. But if you have questions, that is the time. We have the last minute, basically. And the question from Linao is that how does the system help preventing procurement officials from sharing other suppliers' info, just to give one supplier better chances? Very good question, by the way. The first thing that we are doing, everything in Prokuria is audited, and then you can see on the logs whatever is happening. However, whoever is doing the event has access. So if that person wants to call somebody, you cannot prevent that, unless if you are doing seal bids, right? If you are doing seal bids, then during the process of suppliers submitting the bids, nobody has access to the bids. Okay, that's the option to make an RFQ sealed, which means until the end time, nobody can see what other suppliers submitted, and this is how you keep it sealed from anybody. This is important, especially in the public procurement and larger corporation, governments, whenever you are working with public funds. But this is something that a lot of large companies are also asking. Also, not all the company has access to, not all the users have access to an event. You can set up the access and permissions to a certain RFQ name by name, that granular. So it's not like you have an RFQ, everybody from the procurement that has access to Prokuria can see that event. Only the persons that were invited as an organizer on that event. So again, something that creating like a bubble around the event. So only the authorized persons can have access to that event.
Exactly.
Okay. So I think this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Yeah. Thank you for attending.
I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah. Thank you for attending the webinar. We'll continue doing such webinars. So keep in touch and we register to the next one. I think we'll also share the presentation from the beginning and also the recording with the people participating today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Cool.
All right.
Great.
Thank
An
you,
RFQ
guys.
in 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was the theme for today.
Yeah, exactly. Compared to 2 hours.
Okay. See you everybody next time.
See you.
Have a nice day.